Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the stream. My name is Angela, software engineer, front-end developer in St. Paul, Minnesota. It's Sunday afternoon, December 22nd. Welcome. Happy to have you here. We today are going back to the homepage of the new portfolio website. And we have things to do. I think I said this at the end of the stream yesterday. We got off to such a good start with the style guide and the homepage mockup. I'm feeling a little let down by the homepage. There are things we can do. There are improvements that we can make. I had every intention of spending the first part of the day today in Affinity Photo working on the mockup. And I haven't even opened Affinity Photo today. So, oh yay, Nano Kia is here. Hello. How are you doing? I'm so happy you're here. Yeah, I did not get to I just didn't have time to work on the mockup today. Listen, I'm actually having an amazing day. I'm having such a nice day. I got up early. I watched I watched two silly movies on YouTube. I've been crocheting a sweater all day long, and it's going really, really well. I'm super excited to work on it again tonight. And I was definitely looking forward to streaming today, but I was also like, oh, the mock-up. So, uh, good. I'm glad that you're here. I'm glad that you're doing well. I think this is a busy week for people. So we didn't have a ton of people yesterday. We seem to have kind of a regular group on the weekends, which I am so grateful for, so thankful for. But I have noticed fewer people the last week or so, and that's to be expected because of the holiday. So I know this is an extremely busy time for a lot of people. So, and it's busy for me too. There's lots of stuff going on. So, but I'm happy to be here and I'm happy to work on this. I don't really work on this site outside of the stream. So I'm just incredibly grateful for the stream. I'm incredibly grateful for the stream to set aside time to work on it. Oh, you missed yesterday by 3 minutes? You mean you logged on yesterday 3 minutes after we ended? Is that what you mean? Well, I'm sorry that you missed us yesterday. We missed you. I notice when you're not here. I notice that some people are here pretty much every weekend and some people kind of pop in every few weeks, which is, by the way, it's completely fine. I'm definitely not keeping score. I just notice. And so, that you guys are, you guys know that I'm incredibly grateful for the people who come. So, oh, you missed yesterday by 3 minutes after we ended. Sorry about that. So, I don't ever really decide ahead of time how long I'm going to stream for. I mean, it's nice to make sure that I think in order to feel like I got anything substantive done, I need to do this for at least an hour. And I don't think I've gone longer than about 3 hours. And that's long for me. I mean, that's long to be sitting in one spot doing one thing for 3 hours. So I think the sweet spot is right around an hour and a half to 2 hours. That feels comfortable to me. So, okay, so here's the plan for today. Today, I just want to implement some of my ideas for the homepage. A little bit of it is going to be trial and error because I didn't have time in Affinity Photo to mock up some of my ideas. So we're going to do a little bit of trial and error. We have a little cleanup to do also. We need to obviously fix this H1 is colored like a link. So we need to fix that. We have this additional padding here. And I put that padding on the main element because the header is fixed. So if we didn't have this padding, let's see here. If we didn't have this padding on the main, it falls behind. But honestly, maybe that's okay. I mean, maybe that's okay to just let it fall behind. Yeah, actually, that looks pretty good, doesn't it? Here's the thing. I don't want to be too fussy with some of this positioning. I like having a fixed header. I like two things can be true at once, right? Two things can be true at once. I don't like to give containers fixed heights. I want the content to sort of determine what the height of the container is. But there's another container that I am going to give kind of a fixed height to today at the same time. The header is one of those things. I don't want to put a fixed height on the header and then have a fixed pixel value for padding to push down main. I'm just going to let main fall behind the header, which is the normal thing to have happen, and then find images that don't rely on any sort of storytelling if they're covered up by a little bit of the header. Because that's just too fussy for me. I don't like it. I don't like the fussiness of all of that. Even though there's so many things that are fussy that are beyond my control. I don't want to add extra fussiness if I don't have to. So that's my position on fussiness. So Monique is here. Greetings, Monique. I'm so happy to have you. Yay! And Abdallah from Egypt was here yesterday too. He popped in and he was so sweet because he had messaged me, I think a couple of weeks ago, and said, I'm not going to be around for a while. It's the end of the semester. I'm, doing exams for school. And then yesterday he popped in again to say hello. So that was so kind. I was so happy to see him yesterday. So hopefully he will be able to join us again. So, okay. So I'm going to get the padding off of main. Well, let's make sure that we have everything up and running here. All right, so there's our Sasquatch. And we'll go back to the index. Here's main. And I think possibly we'll need typography. And hopefully this is big enough. Yeah, that looks okay. You'll let me know if you can't see it. Okay, so, oops, that's not what I wanted. Yeah, honestly, I'll just take that out for now. I need to, I'm honestly wondering if I should set up we're going to start writing JavaScript pretty soon. It might be, I've been thinking about doing a stream on Friday afternoon next weekend. And I had a couple ideas for what I would do. It might be a good idea. Have you tried the header sticky rather than fixed, as sticky doesn't remove the element from the stack? That's not a bad idea. Yeah, we can try that. You're right. I was kind of thinking that, and then I immediately, my brain moved on to something else. We could definitely try that because, okay, so I have a couple ideas. So my first idea, going back to the header, is, okay, so bear with me here. I was thinking about doing a stream on Friday because I was thinking about implementing a video banner. And to implement a video banner, we have to put in a pause button because we have to give people, it would autoplay And then people have to be able to pause the video if they want to. Screen readers need to be able to pause the video, although if you can't see it, I don't know if it matters. But you need to have a pause button. So there's a little bit of JavaScript. It's not a big deal. I've been, it came up at work because we're researching video banners. We're doing a big redesign right now where I work, and we've been researching video banners. So we've been researching like, how long should it be? What should the bit rate be? How big should the file size be? Like, you know, making sure that it's not distracting from the narrative of the page, but still sort of adding to the narrative overall, like the overall vibe. So I feel like I have a good handle on what a good video banner looks like. And I was like, gosh, that would be really, really fun to implement a video banner. So knowing that I'm going to do that, I don't know if it matters anymore if I have an image that's sort of hidden behind, or, but you're also right. Sticky has a nice effect, right? Because, well, but it's at the top, so that effect that I'm thinking of doesn't really matter. I mean, the cool thing about sticky is that you scroll and stick, right? Yeah, we could switch to sticky. Okay, and then my other point was that we could either work on a video banner on Friday, or I was thinking about setting up a grunt file. I haven't used grunt in ages. I stopped using it because I was having trouble using grunt, or finding a grunt plugin that worked well with ES6 JavaScript. And I think that's changed. I think grunt is definitely still a player, and I think there are more plugins now. But if we're going to start writing more JavaScript, and I know that we're going to, I would like to have grunt up and running. Grunt could also handle all of our SAS watches. So I'm trying to think. Yeah, I've never used Gulp, but I always really liked grunt, and I had a great little grunt setup back in the day. So I'm thinking about it. Let's see how this week goes. Here's the other thing. It's Christmas this week. I know not everybody celebrates, but it's Christmas this week. I celebrate, and I'm trying to figure out my own family situation because I had a car breakdown. My car broke down this week, and it's totally fine. It got towed. I got home. I consider it to be a nuisance, but I don't know. They're going to look at it Monday, and I don't know if they're going to fix it in a day. And then we've got this holiday, and they're probably not going to be open. I don't know if they'll fix it on Monday and I'll be able to go get it. I don't know if it won't be fixed till the end of the week. Yeah, actually, that's a really good point. If it's not fixed until the end of the week, it would not be good for me to schedule a live stream on Friday. So I probably shouldn't do that, and we should just stick to the weekend. Because I think between the holiday and me possibly needing to Uber all the way across town to go pick up a vehicle could interfere with a scheduled stream. So, all right, well, thanks for going on this little, thank you for listening. You had no choice, but here we are. So I think it would be better to not schedule a stream for Fridays. That's fine. We'll just stick to next weekend, Saturday and Sunday. And then I'll decide this week what I really want to work on next weekend. I mean, because I have 5 million ideas of things that I want to implement, but I want to do things that are impactful. I should really stick to the most impactful things for the things that are actually deployed. And right now that's the homepage. I care the most about getting this homepage looking the way I want it to. And then I can continue to work on the inner pages. Okay, there we go. What do they call that? Rubber ducky programming? You guys are like my little rubber duckies helping me work out all my ideas. So, okay. But I am gonna explore this video banner idea, and eventually, I'm I mean, maybe I should just plan next Saturday or Sunday setting up a grunt file. Hmm. Yeah, maybe we should just plan to do that next weekend. Because gosh knows I need to do it. So, all right. Well, we'll figure it out. Um, yeah, Monique, that's actually not a bad idea. Let's look at the calendar, shall we? Let's see here. I'm not, I'll be honest, I was trying to squeeze a few things in before the first. Um, but you're absolutely right. I don't go back to work until the 6th, so I've got a lot of time off here. We could also work on it the 31st. I am going to schedule a stream for the 31st. I just want to talk about some of my goals for 2025, not just with the channel, but just my own professional development goals, because I definitely have ideas for things that, like, streaming the last few months has really shined a light on sort of my gaps, the things that I really want to fill in and work on and get better at. Definitely vanilla JavaScript. And I want to really step up my DevOps game as well. But I also wanted to, I want to get back to just straight up HTML and CSS working from mockups, because I have this huge library of mockups, and I thought it would be fun to go through that library and show you guys some of the things that I want to work on, and maybe see if people had strong opinions like, yes, build that. That would be fun to see that built out. I have a pretty good variety, so I'm definitely going to schedule something for the 31st. And once I get the car situation sorted out and I get it repaired and I get it back home, I'm just very concerned that this week between the holiday and not knowing what that situation is, if I schedule something and then I have to cancel it at the last minute, I'll feel bad. I don't like doing that. So, okay. Thanks for listening. I appreciate it. So grunt and a video banner coming soon to a live stream near you. Okay, so we took out that padding, and then yeah, let's go ahead and just do instead of position fixed, let's do sticky. And let's see here. So here's our header. Our main is still there we go. I just didn't scroll down. So here's our header. There's our main. Actually, that was a great suggestion, and it was like, it took 3 seconds to implement. So, and now we have our full space. So yeah, that was perfect. Okay. Let's look at our typography. Actually, where is that? Our primary heading. Yes. I do need this again. Just gonna do, and we'll say color white. See, this is why I want to set up a grunt file. It's because I want, it's because I'm feeling very put out right now about having to refresh the browser myself. Color white, text decoration, none. And I think this counts as a logo, so I'm not going to put a hover on that, but we should still have, yeah, if we tab through, we still get focus. All right. I'm good with that. I wanted to adjust this a little bit. I wanted to put a little space in between each of these things. This is just an unordered list. So I want to put a little space and a border in between each of these things. So this might sort of throw off our spacing because right now this is pretty even, but honestly, if we just took this entire container and moved it up a little bit, I think that would account for a few things. So let's go to our list class under the skills experience container. Skills experience. All right. So I'm going to go right up here. So we're just going to give our list some additional, and list is on the UL. So we want to style the LIs. So I'm going to say padding bottom 0.5 rems, margin bottom 0.5 rems, because in the box model it goes padding, border, margin. So if you want to even out the space before and after a border, I would suggest, based on your line height, that you do an equal amount of padding, an equal amount of margin, and then your border will go right in the middle. And then we'll say border, bottom, we'll go 1 pixel solid, whoops. And I'm just gonna do teal for right now, but I'm actually going to, we're gonna nth of type that border. I just want to see how it looks with spacing. I like it. I like it. I'm gonna give it a tiny more space, and we're going to not have a border after the last one. So let's give it a little more space. So let's do, I don't want to do a full rem. There we go. I really like that. Okay, so now let's look at, we need to check this so I can remind myself. So it's nth of type 3n plus 1. So we want to do, if we have, we can use all of our colors. So we would want to do nth of type, I think if we have 5 colors, I think the yellow, you know what? To heck with it. Let's just use all the colors and see how it looks. Let's just use them all. Instead of wondering how it's going to look, let's just see how it looks. Okay. So we want to do and wait a second, it's nth of type on the li. So we want to do wait a second, I'm thinking about this. Yeah, it's on the li, so we can do it like that. Nth of type, we have 5n plus 1, and then this would be border color. We'll start with navy. That would be 2, 3, 4, 5. And then this would be 2, 3, 4, 5. And then this would be, Well, technically the first one could be teal. So we wouldn't really need this. We would just start with number, oh no, you would want to, could just do this. So we'll do navy, green, teal, mint, yellow. Oh, and then we need to make sure that the last of type doesn't have a border. Yeah, I like it. Well, you can't really see what's happening though. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4. The mint and the yellow. I'm thinking that maybe the navy and the green are a bust because they're so dark. They're not very distinctive. So maybe let's just do teal, mint, and yellow. Yeah. So we'll do, so then it would be 3n plus 1, 3n plus 2, 3n plus 3, and then let's make the border a little thicker because 1 pixel is super sharp when the colors are dark. We could even change the border. We could do like dots, dashes. Let's do some, I like that. I like color. I like color. We could do dotted. Yes, I like it. Okay, and then let's make sure that after the last one, get that out. So then we want to do, I think we just do last child or last of type. I honestly don't think it matters. We'll just say border, bottom, none. We are off to a very good start today. Okay, so let's make sure. Now let's make sure. Let's see here. You think the yellow should be 3 pixels as it looks thinner because it's light? Let's just make them all 3 pixels. Let's just make them all 3 pixels. Let's just dot it up. Let's just dot it up. But you're right. I don't disagree with you at all. You're right. Let's get some big juicy dots. Yeah, I like it. Don't you think it helps these list items just stand out a little bit more, not make them like such a squishy list, which is what they are? Yeah. So let's see here. So this is, I think we can, so this is technically, isn't this flex start? See, I don't think I can, if we go align items center, oh look, it did, it adjusted it. Oh, good. Perfect. So we can adjust some of this space padding now. Beautiful. Oh. We are off to a very good start today. Should we knock on wood that it continues to go this well? Skills, experience, wrap. Align items, center. Oops. Yeah, you need a little breathing room, right? You need a little breathing room. Your eyes, our brains and our eyes were not meant to be able to read squishy text. squishiness. Okay, so let's see here. We got a lot of, I put a lot of padding up there. So I think we can go back to, I really, really prefer to not do things like negative top margin to get things aligned. I mean, it's fine if you need to do it. I totally understand. We need a little more up there. But I really prefer to not do that if I can avoid it. Let's just try 75. Yeah, that looks really nice. I'm really pleased with that. It's super balanced. I feel like we have the right amount of padding on the top and bottom. Yeah, I'm really happy with that. Okay. Oof, we're off to a really good start. We're off to a really good start. Look at that. Yes. Okay. This needs some help. Now, I realize I'm on a 27-inch monitor. However, this is one of these situations now where normally I want the content to determine the height of the container. In this case, I'm going to give this particular container some height. It needs to have its own height. It needs to have a 16:9 ratio. Because it just, even on a 27-inch monitor, which I know is not typical, it still should look better than it does. So right now I just have this set to height auto. So if we do, I think we're going to have to do the old, yeah, because this is, so we're just going to have to do the old, here, where's my, sorry, puppy. Heidi's like, what are you doing? So it would be 28.125. So if we do height 0, padding bottom 28.125%. Yeah. That looks okay. We just have to make sure. So that's going to, we just have to make sure that's like the, I think we have to give it a, we have to give it a min, we're going to have to give it a min height. So it's 28.125 because, where are we here? The width of this container is 50%. So instead of 56.25%, which is 16:9, you cut it in half, 28.125%, if the width of the container is 50%. So if this was 100%, then it would be 56.25% for the 16:9 ratio. So that's why I cut it in half. It's because the width is 50%. So the padding is always going to be proportional to the width. But yeah, I think this is 16:9 now. But we do need to make sure that it has at least the minimum height of the text container. So I have to think about that for a second. If I'm going to force, oh, you can use aspect ratio in the CSS without padding. Okay, hang on. Sorry about that. I didn't immediately understand what you're saying. Well, hang on 1 second. Okay. So, okay, the aspect ratio property allows you to define the desired width to height ratio of an elements box. This means that even if the parent container or viewport size changes, the browser will adjust. The browser will adjust the element's dimensions to maintain the specified width to height ratio. Okay. At least one of the box's sizes needs to be automatic in order for aspect ratio to have any effect. If neither the width nor the height is an automatic size, okay. Hang on here. Let me refresh. Okay. So this is auto, and then we could just do aspect ratio 16:9. Wow. Okay. So, and that's like that's going to be kind of like our min. Yeah. That solves my min height problem, doesn't it? Yeah. So, it's never smaller. It's never smaller than this container, but it's always at least 16:9. How did I not know this before? Okay. Hang on. Let me get this in here. Yes, thank you. Thank you. Appreciate you. Okay, let's get down to our aspect ratio 16:9. Okay. So I mean, do I ever need to use padding bottom again? Height 0 padding bottom again? I don't think I do. I mean, I use that all the time. Okay. How did I not know that? I'm doing it here. So I just want to experiment here with this. So I'm going to take that out. I'm going to take that out. We'll set this to auto. Yeah, I think the thing that is holding that, no, look at, aspect ratio is holding that container open, so I don't have to force it open with padding. Because this image is position absolute, it is completely out of the flow. So aspect ratio is holding this container open when the only child element in the container is position absolute. Wow. I'm having a moment because I've been doing this. Now, what what I did here is not exactly what I want, because 60 VH and 75 VH, those are different aspect ratios, right? But what I'm realizing, the thing is if we take out aspect ratio, this entire figure container collapses because the only child of the figure container has position absolute, and position absolute completely removes it from the flow, and nothing is holding the figure container open. So you can't with height, you can't come in here and say 75%. That doesn't work because it's like 75% of what? It doesn't do anything. So the hack is that you do height 0, you just force it closed, collapse it, and then you do padding bottom to hold it open or closed. We don't have to do that anymore. We can do auto for the height and then put an aspect ratio on here, and that holds the container open. You have no idea. I'm having such a moment right now. So let's mess with our aspect ratio. And see if, yeah. So if we just change the aspect ratio, we can control how big and we don't have to have padding bottom anymore. I mean, this is kind of a big moment for me. Look at that. Wow. How did I not know this? How did I not know this? Wow. Okay. Let's head over to the hero section. Here it is. So we'll put height auto. I'm going to take, and I'm going to take both of these media queries out for now. I'll take that out. Aspect ratio, what do we say, 16 to 6? Monique is saying, I'll post an article on aspect ratio in Discord for later. That would be amazing. There's always something new to learn. See, this is the power of like building a community of like-minded people who like to learn together, right? I mean, all the ideas that we get to share, because one person cannot know everything. It's just not possible. It doesn't matter how much experience you have. Different people learn different things and use different techniques. And then we get people together and we get to share all these ideas. It's just a really cool feeling. It's just a really cool feeling to meet other people who like to share ideas. I really like it. And you know what? I really like how that image looks on mobile also. And we just eliminated now 2 media queries. That looks great. I love that. I love that. I mean, well, maybe we could make it a smudge. We could just do it a smudge bigger. So maybe we could do 16 to 9 just for the smallest screen. So maybe instead of 960. I love that we don't have to do that anymore. I mean, oh yeah, 16 to 6 can be simplified. You're right. Angela, 5th grade math. fifth grade math. You learned about the lowest common denominator in fifth grade math. So let's see here. I'm just giggling to myself. It's okay. I learned how to reduce fractions in fifth grade, so thank you for reminding me. Although, in my own defense, that was a long time ago. That was a really long time ago. That was the 80s, okay? Let's see here. So... oh, I love it. And I'm just going to take this out. And what do we decide to do with these fonts? I'm undecided yet on what I'm doing with these fonts. Wow, this is really cool. This is a big, I'm going to be thinking about this for a while, because you guys know I do that all the time. I'm always like height 0, padding bottom, and then I pop in a percentage. So is there any place else where we can fix that? There's that. I don't think so. I don't think we have any other images, but, well, wait a second. What's this? Yeah, I think this is a, what is this? Current duties. Yeah, actually, for that too. So our current duties. Hang on. Oh yeah. I think we can just take this out. So at 1200 pixels, there we go. Yeah. Yeah, we did it here too. So let's go height auto, aspect ratio. I don't think we need that for the media query. Wow. So Monica's saying that, whoops, hang on, image. Oh, Nano Kyo is saying image half screen would have an aspect ratio of 2:1. I'm going to keep it at, wait a second here. I'm going to keep it at 16:9. I was going to keep it at 16:9. Oh, that aspect. actually, that does make sense. Oh, you're accounting for how I had it before. Yeah, I was just going to keep it at 16 to 9 and then not need to have the additional. Yeah, you were going off the initial 100 pixels wide with 50 of padding. Um, I'm just going to keep it at 16 to 9 and let it be what the parent container or what the original aspect ratio was. I wasn't um, overly concerned with the actual height of the container or the actual aspect ratio. I was just simplifying, not changing it. So, but thank you for noticing that. So we fixed our video. Yeah, and we don't need to worry about that anymore. So I don't have to calculate percentages based on the width of my container anymore. What will I do with myself? What will I do with all my free time? All right, well, how's that for refactoring? All right. How are we on time? About 53 minutes. Okay. So let's I I definitely want to do something with this section and with this section. Since I did not do my homework today, I don't have anything picked out for this section, so I'm going to skip this YouTube section for now, but I want to expand this YouTube section and have 3 thumbnails, 3 titles, 3 sort of truncated descriptions, and then when you click on them, you link to the actual YouTube page where the videos play. What I want to do instead is deal with the footer, and then we need to figure this situation out. So I think what we're going to do is, at this wide of a screen, clearly there needs to be 4 across, not just 3 across. And so Nano Akia is saying, I always believed a pixel was an undefined size, that it was different per monitor. Yesterday I learned that a pixel now has is defined as 0.75 points. That's interesting. I don't think that I thought a pixel was an undefined size. I think that I always thought that any given monitor could have any given number of pixels, right? That most monitors have 70 pixels per inch. Some have 96 pixels per inch. And if you're on a Mac, I think as technology gets more advanced and computers are still expensive, but they're more accessible to people. I feel like there is like an infinite number of resolutions. That's how I always thought of it, as sort of having an infinite number of resolutions. So I do still find myself like hard coding pixel values for things that I know I should be using rems for. And I have a hard time catching myself sometimes. A couple times people in the chat have been like, why are you using pixels for that? I'm like, oh yeah, that's a good question. So, but I think this is interesting. So thank you for sharing that with me. I think that, I don't know, I just try to keep it flexible. I like using percentages when I can. I love this aspect ratio. Knowing that I can hold open a container with an aspect ratio if the only child has position absolute is kind of blowing my mind. That's going to be, that is just such a fantastic discovery. And it sort of solves this minimum height problem because there is a point where this is not 16 to 9 anymore because this container is bigger than 16 to 9. So it still honors the container next to it because it's Flexbox, but it never gets smaller. So before, when I was using the percentage, this container was visibly smaller, and I was like, shoot, how am I going to hold that container open? Like, what would the minimum height be? So this just solves so many problems. So to have it solve that minimum height issue and to also have aspect ratio hold open a container, that is really powerful. So I'm kind of like, wow. Yeah, it's a lot. Mind blown. Okay, so let's do 4 across when we're on the biggest screen, which I think the media query is going to end up being about 1600. So let's just fix this a little bit with some Flexbox. So let's go to responsibilities. Where are my items? Right here. So, yep, and we have some media queries here already. So I think what I'm going to end up doing we'll see if 1600 is enough or if I need to maybe just do 1200. So I'm going to switch this to 32.333. And then this can be probably what, 24? We'll just do 24. Wait. Yeah, 24. And let's make sure that we're doing, probably, yeah, see, this is why it's a good idea to this is why it's a good idea to do margin sometimes, and calculate your width, because space between is really nice, but then this happens if you don't have the correct number of items. Center is probably better. It's going to look better. I think it looks better. But that's what happens. So that's okay. So let's do calc 25% minus, although we could just do gap, because gap will account for the first, won't gap account for the first and the last? So if we do 24% and then a gap of 1%, where's our flex box? Right here. Can we just do a gap of 1%? Yeah. Yes, we can. So there's a little gap on the left and right. That's okay. I don't mind. So then if we have extra cards, or we could have extra cards, or we could just do flex start, which I think is the default. It really does put everything at the start. Yeah, you need more room. I'm very fuzzy on how gap calculates the gap. MDN CSS gap. Okay, sets the gaps, also called the gutters, between rows and columns. This property applies to multi-column, flex, and grid containers. I mean, does it divide? Okay, one length value, one percentage value, two length values. Is it X and Y? Is it left and right? Specifies the width of the gutter separating columns, flex items, flex lines, and grid lines. This property is specified as a value for row gap, followed optionally by a value for column gap. If column gap is omitted, it is set. Okay, so the first is row gap, the second is column gap. Got it? Specifies the width of the gutter separating columns, flex items, flex lines, and grid lines relative to the dimension of the element. This property defines gaps between columns, between flex items, gap, row, column. Yeah. So it's kind of like X and Y, right? Row, row, column. The generated gaps create empty spaces that have the width or height of the gap's specified size, much like an empty item or track. The visible space between elements may differ from the provided gap value because margins, padding, and distributed alignment may increase the separation between elements beyond what is determined by gap. In multi-column containers, the first value defines the gap between columns. A dividing line can be added to the otherwise empty space by using the column rule style property or column rule shorthand. Roman, you're welcome. Thanks for your lesson. Appreciate that. Hopefully you picked up. Hopefully you picked a little something up today. I feel like I'm picking up a few things today. Okay, I'm overthinking. So I'm gonna do center. I'm gonna do 24. I'm gonna do center. Well, okay, so if you take out 24 and then you have a gap of 1%, I'm trying to understand the math. I guess I'm treating this like the item and the gap value should equal 25%, but clearly that's not the case. So gap is additive. But is it evenly distributed? So if the width is 24% and the gap is 1%, that's 25%, right? So if we do that, I think that I'm overthinking this and I need to let it go. 3 gaps at 1% is 3%, right? So 4, yeah. 1, 2, 3. But I feel like there's more gaps, right? Because there's also a gap before the first item and after the last item in the row. That's what I don't understand. So I feel like this is 1%, 2%, 3%, and then I feel like it's a 0.5% on the left and right. Right? I feel like that's what I'm seeing. Yeah. I'm not getting the space between effect that I like. Look at that. 24.25 right there. Oh, I see what you're saying. 3 gaps at 1% is 3%. So 25% minus 3 is 23%. I would do calc 25% minus 4. Just minus 4? 25% minus 4? So this, when I did this, 24.25%, that got me closer to what I wanted. Well, so that would make sense. 3% divided by 4, hang on. 3% divided by 4 is 0.75. So if I add 0.25 to each item, so really, this would be this, yeah. So I'm going with this. 3 gaps, 3%. 3% divided by 4 is 0.75%. So each item is 24.25%. This math makes sense to me. This math makes sense to me. So I'm going with this. So we should probably make sure that we're, well, let's just see how it looks. So I think I can go back then to flex start. Yeah, I do like flex start better for this. Okay, I like this. I like this. I need more stuff. I need more responsibilities. Here's the other thing I wanted to do. Instead of having these be a solid border, Yeah. No math makes sense to me. So, listen, I my eighth grade algebra teacher told me that I would use math as an adult. He assured all of us of that, and I do use math as an adult. I mean, I clearly use math as a developer. I'm always like figuring out a percentage or dividing by something, right? And I'm good with that. I don't mind that. I'm glad that it wasn't all a lie, and I do need math as an adult. Um, but I get frustrated when it doesn't make sense to me. That's what I don't like. When I can't, like, when the math doesn't math, that's when I get frustrated. So this works. I really want to make this border maybe also dotted. Oh, that doesn't look that good though, does it? Unless, yeah, that doesn't really look that good. Might have to go back to the drawing board on that one. Let's work on our footer. Let's work on our footer. Let's see how this looks. Yeah, it looks better than when it was 3 across. That's pretty squishy. Let's make this 1200. Yeah, good. I'm glad I'm not the only one. There we go. There, that's a little smoother. Yeah. Okay. So this section does still need, it needs a little, oh, did we give this an aspect ratio? Let's give this an aspect ratio too. Why not? I just want to give everything an aspect ratio now. Let's see here, position, relative. Height, auto. Okay, it's not going to work for everything. That's okay. That's okay. Listen, front end development, instant gratification. You get to see your work right away in the browser. So that's fine. We're going to stick with this. Okay, so let's fix up this footer. And we need hover states for our social media icons. And I think that we have a separate partial for the footer, which is I'm wondering if our social media icons and our footer can be combined. Yeah. Yeah, let's do it. do that for now. And then let's do footer. Whoops. Okay. So let's actually start with, well, I am just going to start with, so I combine these sections, but the social media icons, I mean, do we actually want to put them inside the footer? I kind of do. Yeah. And then let's just give our footer a little bit of padding on the top. Oh, here we go with our pixels. Although I've been using pixel values for padding for the main sections this entire time. There we go. And then let's put this inside a paragraph, a div. Oops, hang on. Pixels are fine for design. They are only really bad for text as far as I understand it. Yeah. I think if you're trying to magnify a screen with pixel values for text, that could be really problematic. So I would tend to agree with that. Old habits die hard, man. Pixels are very handy when you want just like a precise amount of margin or padding. Pixels come in very handy. Let's see here. Let's find our social icons. And I think maybe 50 pixels on the bottom, but we don't need double pixels on the top of our social icons. So here's our footer, 50 on top, 50 on the bottom, and then 50 on the bottom, the social icon. I think we just can reduce this right here. And boy, there's a lot of, why do we have so much space? display block. Ah, that's why. So let's make, if we make these anchor links display, oh, they are display block. I guess we could just put Roman, yes, I saw your message and I'm going to be doing it this week. Thank you for your patience. Thank you for letting me know that you put it there. I did see it. I haven't had time to do it yet because I've been streaming this weekend, but I am now officially on vacation until January 6th. So I will be doing, I have 2 code reviews that I'm going to do. I'm going to do yours and I'm going to do Lena's. So you can definitely look forward to that in the next week. I know I told you that like a week ago, but I mean it this time. And I will absolutely look at it, and thank you for reminding me. I will absolutely do that for you. Okay, I'm not going to fuss with this too much. I'm just going to reduce this padding. So I'm thinking maybe a little more. Yeah, about 20 pixels. I'm going to reduce that padding a little bit. Thank you, Roman, for hanging out with us. I'm going to reduce this down to 20 pixels. Whoops. And then I really just wanted to make sure that we had a hover state. So let's see. So, you know, I'm kind of annoyed though. These are display block. I think I'm just going to have to give these a width and a height, which is... So if I give these a width of 65 pixels and a height of 65, whoops. I'm trying to think, what am I doing here? Do I want to invert the color or just change the color? I think I should just change the color because they're all different shapes. So I'm going to do width 65 pixels, height, whoops. Height 65 pixels, and then let's do hover, active, focus. And the hover active focus is going to trigger, I think we can just do this. I think we have to put an ampersand. We can trigger the SVG fill, which right now is navy. I think we can just change it to green, but we have to give this a transition. Nope. Transition, fill 300 milliseconds, ease in, out. Yeah, so when you hover on the anchor, you trigger the SVG. I think this will work. I don't know. Yeah, that works. That works. Well, let's make sure that our contact page, where are we here? And then we'll go ahead and get everything deployed. There we go. Contact. I love it. Yeah, I'm really happy with how this turned out. I'm happy with this. I'm like, I need to really sit down and think about content a little bit more. But for now, it's completely fine. It's completely fine. I'm so much happier now with the home page. I do think that we could do something more with these cards to just like spice them up a little bit. You know what I mean? Just give them a little, just zhuzh them up a little bit. Just give them a little something. I'm going to work on this section also. I'm going to work on this section also. We'll do 3 cards. I just need a little more content here. I'm actually happy with the overall look of this section because we fixed that aspect ratio, right? We just need to work on a little bit of content, and I'm loving this right here. So I think we're gonna do something next weekend. I got a million ideas. Clearly, I have not settled on any one thing. So you guys tell me, do you want to see me configure a grunt file? Is that something that you're even interested in watching me do? Because it's not going to be a lot of, oh, hang on one second. It's not gonna, if we do that, I know it'll take the whole time because I know myself. I know it's gonna take the whole time. There not gonna be a lot of HTML and CSS unless something miraculous happens and we get a grunt file worked out in like the first, 30 minutes or an hour. But I mean, I just know that that's gonna take some time to get set up. If you're interested in seeing that, I am happy to stream it. Yeah, you guys let me know what you think would be fun to watch. If you're not interested in that, I will get back. I really want to do a video banner. That's what I really want to work on. And I know I can get a video edited and ready to go as a banner well before next weekend. So we would get that into the banner, we would put in a pause button, and we would write JavaScript so we have a click event to start and stop the video. I think that would be really fun too. And then also work on this middle section for 3 videos. Well, we've got lots of things to do next weekend. We have lots of things to do next weekend. And Roman is asking scale for card. I don't know. I don't know if I understand the question. Can you rephrase the question, Roman? You might be asking about something that I breezed past a few minutes ago. And thank you. I appreciate that. I'm glad you enjoyed it. I clearly love having you here, Nano Akia. Monique, also, if you're still here, I love having you here. Roman, I love it when you guys come and you throw out suggestions and you're like, hey, do you know about this? Did you think of this? Clearly, you guys are pretty awesome. Let's go ahead and deploy this up to Heroku, and then I need to get this deployed. I still don't have my GitHub action written yet, so I will hopefully get to that before next weekend. I've just been r-syncing from the terminal. So we'll do git status, git add, and then git commit styles and improvements for the homepage. Git push, origin staging. All right, I don't have Heroku open, but GitHub will tell us if it failed. So we'll go there. Oh, Heidi. What do you hear out there? All right, and we are deployed. So let's take a look. Nope, that's not what I wanted. Here we go. All right, look at that. Yeah, I will definitely deploy this to DigitalOcean when we're done. So I am totally comfortable having this ready to go on DigitalOcean. So on our production site. So yeah, this looks great. Oh, oof. It just feels so good. It's like such a bummer to feel a little underwhelmed sometimes when your hard work makes you feel underwhelmed. So I'm glad that even though I still have more things that I want to do to this homepage, I still feel I feel really satisfied by yesterday too, because we got this form working. And that was the form. Listen, the form was a giant success. I don't want to downplay what we got done yesterday. The form was a giant success, but I just don't like feeling underwhelmed by this homepage. Needs more dragons. Thank you. Thank you, Monique. Loved my life. Felipe, thank you so much. Happy holidays. Happy holidays to you too. I'm glad that you enjoyed it. Yeah, it goes without saying that this is one of the best decisions I have ever made, is after years of wanting to be on YouTube and wanting to do something like this. This is one of the best decisions I made in 2024 was to start doing this. And I'm really, really excited for the things that I have planned for 2025, which is not even anything crazy. Nothing crazy at all. It's literally me just seeing such a positive response to somebody who loves writing front end code, somebody who loves writing HTML and CSS as much as I do, discovering other people who love it as much as me, and people who want to see it be done correctly and with accessibility in mind, and making sure that it's a good user experience for everybody, and being willing to share ideas and say, hey, have you heard of this? Have you done this? Have you tried this? So yeah, this is just so much fun. So thank you, everybody. I think we're at about an hour and a half here, which is a perfect time to end the stream for today. Have a wonderful day wherever you are. Have a happy holiday. Whatever holiday you celebrate, have an excellent holiday. And I will be back bright-eyed and bushy-tailed next weekend to continue doing something. I don't know what yet. It's going to be something fun. So have a great rest of your day, and I will talk to you later. I love you. virtual hug and a kiss, and take it easy. Bye.